Hands-on with the Tula Mic, a portable feature-packed microphone / standalone recorder with both uni and omnidirectional capsules. It has 8 gigabytes of built-in internal storage. It has noise reduction built in. It also has a 3.5mm headphone jack so you can monitor your audio. It works as a standalone recorder or a USB microphone for your Mac or iPad. Oh, and it has a detachable stand. Watch our hands-on for the details. So I'm always in search of a good portable microphone to use while traveling. And I've tried many of the popular options that are out there, but I've never been like totally sold on a portable microphone. This one right here though is probably the closest I've been to being sold. It is the Tula Microphone, and as you can see, it is super portable. It fits basically in the palm of my hand, and no problem at all to fit this in a jeans pocket, to put it in a bag. Portability is not an issue with the Tula Mic whatsoever, and we're going to talk about that in this video and talk about some of the other aspects of this particular microphone. As you can see, it is inundated with lots of buttons on the left side and also on the right side as well. We'll discuss all of those buttons and what they do, but first, let's do the pocket check. And like I said, it fits perfectly, no problems at all. And the Tula Mic isn't just pocketable, it's also very flexible. Depending on the task at hand, it can adapt to fit your workflow. So if you're recording in a studio or you're recording on the go, the Tula Mic is set up with several features to make it adaptable and flexible for your workflow. So one of the things you'll notice is the detachable stand, which is easily removable. And then you can add this adapter, which allows you to connect, yes indeed, to a full-size microphone stand or boom arm. So that's perfect for the studio. So if you're recording in studio, you can easily attach the Tula Mic just like that. And of course, it comes with a built-in stand, which is great for travel. Now let's talk about the hardware buttons and the various LEDs on the Tula Mic. So like we said at the outset, there are quite a few buttons and things to talk about. So on the front, you see the 2 LEDs, the record indicator on the left and the gain indicator on the right. On the back, you see the USB-C port, which is used for charging, it's used for transferring files, and it's used for working as a USB-C audio interface / microphone for your Mac or iPad. Now, on the right side of the device, you see your 3.5mm headphone input. You see your volume up and volume down buttons, which increase or decrease by 5 decibels. So this setup allows you to use a pair of headphones for real-time monitoring of the microphone input. So that's really cool. You also have a record button. You'll see the LED come on when you press that. You can also press it again to pause your recording. And then below that, you see your stop button, which not only stops recordings, but it will also stop playback when you're playing back audio from the built-in recorder. Speaking of playback, you have your play pause button, which will start the playback of audio recorded to the internal memory. And then below that, you have your power button. Now, on the opposite side, you have quite a few buttons as well. You have your gain up and your gain down, both increase or decrease by 5 decibels. Below that, you have skip forward, which will skip to the next track, or you can press and hold it to fast forward while a track is playing. And the same thing goes for skip back. A long press will rewind, press it once to go to the beginning of the track, press it again to go to the track before that. Below that, you have your mute button, so you can mute the microphone when recording. Also, when playing back audio, you can mute or unmute the microphone input so there's no distractions when reviewing your audio. Now below that, you have the noise cancellation button. And this uses the brush-free plugin from Clevgrand, which is built into this microphone. To use it, you press and hold the noise cancellation button without saying anything so that it can sample the background ambient noise so it can know what to subtract from the track. That's pretty cool. So this won't work for like loud sounds or kids yelling or things like that, but it's useful for eliminating hums from things like HVAC, for instance. Now below that, you have your mic selector. This allows you to choose between the cardioid and omnidirectional capsules. So that's super useful depending on what type of audio you're trying to record. If you're recording just your voice, obviously you want to use the default unidirectional, but if you're recording a group podcast, omnidirectional is perfect for that. So it's nice to have that ability. Now let's talk about recording and sound quality. So again, it has the 3.5mm headphone input so you can monitor your voice. that is super nice to have built in. So all you do is you press record, you see the little record indicator on the left, the gain indicator on the right, and of course I can use the mute button whenever I want to. And then I'm going to play back audio using the play pause button, and below that you see the microphone selector. It's highlighted now, indicating I'm in omnidirectional mode in that particular instance. So again, the name of the game with the Tula Mic is flexibility, not just in the fact that it's portable and then it has the built-in stand, but also the two different microphone capsules, the built-in recorder with 8 GB of storage, and 12 hours of continuous recording per charge. But how does the microphone sound? Let's listen. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog while putting a putt in the cup on a blustery day with several sentences to say. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog while putting a putt in the cup on a blustery day with several sentences to say. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog while putting a putt in the cup on a blustery day with several sentences to say. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog while putting a putt in the cup on a blustery day with several sentences to say. Okay, so here is omnidirectional mode from the front of the microphone. Here it is from the rear of the microphone, the left side of the microphone, and the right side of the microphone. So my takeaway, when played to its strengths, this microphone sounds excellent. Especially when you get up close to it, it sounds really good. I would probably recommend a pop filter if you're going to get really close to the mic, because the explosives can kind of get out of hand if not careful. And the built-in noise reduction capability I was actually pretty impressed with, although I will say that it does up the sibilance quite a bit, so you just kind of have to be careful of that as well. But for a portable microphone that can work in standalone mode with its own built-in recorder and work as a USB microphone for your Mac or iPad, I'm impressed with the sound quality. Now let's talk about playback and offloading, because you have that built-in USB-C port that allows you to connect to your Mac and offload the files that are recorded to the internal storage, which is 8 GB large. So let's go ahead and open up the Tula Mic folder, and there you'll see all the files that I've recorded to the internal storage. And you can see quite a few of them there. They're all saved as WAV format, and you'll be able to save lots of recordings. So here's a test with the microphone in. So you can play back just like that in preview. But notice here you have two different Tula 0015 files. The standard and the one that says brush free after it. The one that says brush free is the one where noise cancellation is applied. And the cool thing is that if you enable noise cancellation in standalone recording mode, it will actually save both files. The one with noise cancellation and the one without. So you have both, allowing you to choose which one you want to use in post-production. Now notice below, 7.68 GB available, so you have 8 GB of internal storage to record audio directly to the microphone, which is plenty of storage space. So my final thoughts on the Tula Mic. I have to say, I like it a lot. I think the design is cool. It sort of has that old school meets new school design language. The build quality is decent. There is some plastic here and there, but I think it is pretty good overall. And while I don't think you'll have to necessarily baby it, I wouldn't call it super duper durable either. Now, my biggest gripe with the Tula Mic is the fact that there's no OLED display. There's no sort of display, so you really don't know like what gain level you're set to or how much storage space you have left or what's the battery life looking like. You kind of just left in the dark on those sort of things. And then you have all those buttons, which can be a little bit confusing as well, especially for first-time users. I got used to it fairly quickly, but having a display would allow you to have less buttons and sort of a display menu that allows you to cycle through the various settings. And lastly, I also wish there was a built-in speaker so you can kind of listen to your audio without having to plug in headphones. But that's kind of nitpicky. The most important thing about any microphone is sound quality, and I think the Tula Mic sounds great. And it has the ability to monitor your audio in real time via a 3.5mm headphone input, which is super important, right? When you combine all that with the built-in stand, built-in noise reduction, the two different capsule types, omnidirectional and cardioid, this is a very feature-packed microphone that does a whole lot very well. And while this microphone isn't perfect, is definitely something I'm going to be keeping on my person whenever I'm traveling for sure, and even when I'm just out and about. This will be a great tool to have in the bag. For more details, check the description and let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. This is Jeff, with 9 to 5 Mac.